Most people do not lose their dreams in one dramatic moment. They lose them quietly. One email at a time. One notification at a time. One quick meeting at a time. One random scroll, one urgent request, one little distraction that doesn't feel dangerous. Until suddenly, the day is gone. You had ideas. You had energy. You had things you wanted to build, write, design, launch, learn, or become. But somehow, your best attention got donated to other people's priorities. That is the modern problem at the heart of Manage Your Day-to-Day, edited by Jocelyn K. Glei. This book is not about squeezing more tasks into an already crowded calendar. It is about something deeper, protecting your creative energy in a world designed to steal it. It gathers insights from thinkers like Newport, Gretchen Rubin, Tony Schwartz, Babauta, Scott Belsky, and many others, all focused on one big question. How do you do meaningful work when the world keeps interrupting you? The answer is not to become a productivity robot. That is not very capybara. The answer is to build a daily rhythm that protects what matters most, keeps your tools under control, strengthens your focus, and keeps your creative mind alive. In other words, if you want to create a better life, you must first learn how to manage an ordinary day. Because your day is where your life is actually built. The big idea: your routine is your creative operating system. The central message of Manage Your Day-to-Day is simple but powerful. Great creative work does not come from waiting for inspiration. It comes from designing your days so inspiration has a place to land. Most people think creativity is about mood. They wait until they feel ready, clear, motivated, or magically blessed by the productivity fairies. But the book argues the opposite. Your best work comes from structure. Not stiff, joyless structure, but supportive structure. The kind that helps you show up even when you are tired, distracted, busy, or not feeling especially brilliant. A strong routine is like a quiet fence around your attention. It tells the world, this time is for what matters. Without that fence, your day gets eaten by whatever is loudest. And in the modern world, the loudest thing is rarely the most important thing. Emails are loud. Notifications are loud. Other people's emergencies are loud. Social media is very loud, especially when it pretends to be research. But your deepest work is usually quiet. Writing is quiet. Thinking is quiet. Planning is quiet. Creating something original is quiet. Changing your life is quiet. So if you do not protect the quiet, the loud will win. Part 1. Build a rock-solid routine. The first major theme of the book is building a daily routine that supports your most important work. This begins with a painful truth. If you do not decide what your day is for, someone else will. Mark McGuinness makes one of the book's strongest points. You need to draw a clear line between the world's demands and your own ambitions. That line matters because the world will always have something for you to react to. Messages, calls, requests, deadlines, updates, tiny digital fires. But if you start your day by reacting, you give away your strongest mental energy before you have used it on anything meaningful. That is why the book recommends a simple but life-changing rule. Do creative work first. Reactive work second. Before email. Before messages. Before meetings. Before checking what the internet is angry about today. Start with the work that moves your life forward. This could be writing a script, building a product, planning your business, studying a skill, designing something, recording content, or thinking deeply about a problem that matters. The exact task depends on your life, but the principle is universal. Your best energy should go to your best work, not to inbox maintenance, not to random admin, not to a group chat that somehow has 97 unread messages before breakfast. The first part of the day is sacred because your mind is usually freshest. If you spend that time on other people's priorities, you may still be busy all day, but you will feel strangely empty by night. Busy is not the same as fulfilled. Frequency beats. Occasional heroics. Gretchen Rubin offers another key insight. Frequency makes hard things easier. Many people treat creative work like a dramatic event. They wait for a big free weekend, a perfect mood, or a long stretch of uninterrupted time. But that creates pressure, and pressure often creates avoidance. Instead, Rubin argues for doing the work frequently, even daily, if possible. Writing every day is easier than writing once in a while. Practicing every day is easier than restarting every month. Building a project in small daily steps is easier than trying to rescue it with one heroic all-nighter. Frequency creates momentum. When you touch the work often, your brain keeps it warm. Ideas keep developing in the background. You do not have to waste energy asking, "Where was I again?" because the project is still alive inside you. This is especially important for creators. A YouTube channel grows through repetition. A book gets written through repetition. A business gets built through repetition. A skill improves through repetition. Not glamorous, not dramatic, but deeply effective. The Lazy Capybara version is this: do a little every day, then let time do the heavy lifting. Renewal is not laziness. Now, here is where the book becomes more human. A routine should not turn you into a tired machine. Tony Schwartz reminds us that renewal is not a luxury. It is part of performance. Many people try to solve productivity problems by working longer. More hours, more caffeine, more tabs open, more pushing through. But creative work does not function like factory work. Your brain needs recovery. Your body needs rest. Your attention needs space. If your routine drains you every day, the solution is not to shame yourself harder. The solution is to redesign the routine. Real productivity includes sleep breaks, movement, silence, recovery, time away from screens, space to think. This is not weakness. It is maintenance. Even the most focused capybara must occasionally sit in warm water and contemplate existence. The point is not to work endlessly. The point is to work sustainably. A good day-to-day system helps you return to your work with energy, not resentment. Part 2. Find focus in a distracted world. The second major theme is focus. Glei describes attention as a competitive advantage, and this idea feels even more important today. Almost everyone has access to tools, information, and opportunities, but fewer and fewer people can sit quietly and focus on one important thing for a long stretch of time. That means focus has become rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. Cal Newport's solution is the focus block. A focus block is a scheduled appointment with yourself for deep, uninterrupted work. Not vague work time, not, "I'll try to focus if nothing comes up." A real block on your calendar. During this time, you remove distractions and work on one high-value task. No email, no phone, no social media, no random browsing, no pretending that checking analytics is part of the creative process. The key is to treat this block like an important meeting. Because it is. It is a meeting with your future. If someone asks for that time, you do not casually give it away. You protect it, you respect it, you show up for it. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. If your brain is used to constant stimulation, deep focus can feel like withdrawal. You may reach for your phone without thinking. You may suddenly remember 6 fake urgent things. You may feel restless. That is normal. Focus is a muscle. If you have not trained it, it will shake at first. But with practice, your mind gets stronger. And slowly, you remember what it feels like to actually think. Multitasking is mostly a trap. One of the book's clearest messages is that multitasking is not the superpower we pretend it is. Most of the time, what we call multitasking is actually task switching. You are not doing 2 things at once. You are rapidly shifting attention back and forth, paying a hidden tax each time. Write a sentence, check a message, return to the sentence, forget where you were. Read the sentence again, open another tab, feel productive. Make almost no progress. Very modern, very tragic. The solution is not complicated, but it is difficult. Do one thing at a time. When you write, write. When you plan, plan. When you rest, rest. When you communicate, communicate. Single tasking feels slower at first because it lacks the dopamine sparkle of chaos, but it produces better work and leaves you less mentally exhausted. The goal is not to become unreachable forever. The goal is to create protected spaces where your mind can go deep. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Another powerful lesson. Waiting for ideal conditions is usually procrastination wearing a nice outfit. Many people delay their best work because life is not calm enough yet. They say, "I'll start when things settle down. I'll write when I have more time. I'll create when I feel ready. I'll focus when my schedule clears." But life rarely clears itself for you. There will always be noise. There will always be obligations. There will always be some reason to wait. So the real skill is learning to create inside imperfect conditions. This does not mean accepting constant chaos. You should still protect your attention. But it does mean you stop making perfection a requirement for progress. You can write badly today. You can make a rough draft. You can spend 30 focused minutes. You can take the next small step. Momentum does not require perfect weather. It just requires movement. Part 3. Tame your tools before they tame you. The third theme is technology. The book does not say technology is evil. That would be too simple. Technology can help us learn, connect, publish, organize, and build amazing things. The problem is not the tools themselves. The problem is when tools stop serving our goals and start controlling our behavior. Your inbox is a tool. Social media is a tool. Your phone is a tool. The internet is a tool. But if you check them automatically, compulsively, and without intention, then you are no longer using the tool. The tool is using you. Aaron Dignan suggests that we begin by reconnecting with our bigger goals. Because when your goals are vague, your inbox feels important. But when your goals are clear, many messages suddenly become less powerful. A practical exercise. Write down your top 3 meaningful goals. Keep them visible. Before opening email or social media, ask, "Is this helping one of those goals, or am I just avoiding discomfort?" That question alone can save hours. The goal is not to ignore communication. The goal is to stop letting communication become your entire job. Your inbox should not be the boss of your life. Use social media with intention. Lori Deschaney's advice on social media is especially useful. Do not log on just because you are bored. Log on with a purpose. Are you there to publish, to learn, to connect with a specific person, to research a topic, to respond to your community? Good. Do that. But do not wander into the algorithmic jungle with no plan and expect to return emotionally refreshed. That is how a 5-minute break becomes 47 minutes of comparing your life to strangers and watching a raccoon eat grapes. Enter with intention. Exit with discipline. A simple rule. Before opening any platform, say out loud what you are there to do. It sounds silly, but it works. It wakes up the part of your brain that makes choices instead of the part that just clicks. Your body is also part of productivity. One of the most interesting ideas in the book comes from Linda Stone, who describes how people often breathe shallowly or even hold their breath while looking at screens. This matters because shallow breathing can put the body into a more anxious, reactive state. So productivity is not just mental, it is physical. Your posture, breath, sleep, movement, and nervous system shape the quality of your work. If you are tense, hunched, overstimulated, and barely breathing, your mind will not feel calm and creative. It will feel like a squirrel in a spreadsheet. Try this during the workday. Pause before opening your inbox. Take 3 slow breaths. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Feel your feet on the floor. Then choose your next action deliberately. This is tiny but powerful. A calmer body makes better decisions. Urgent is not the same as important. James Victore highlights one of the biggest traps of modern work: confusing urgent with important. Urgent things demand attention now. Important things create long-term value. The problem is that urgent tasks often feel more emotionally intense. They create pressure. They make us feel needed. They provide quick relief when completed. Important work is quieter. It does not always scream, but it changes your life. Writing the book, building the business, learning the skill, improving your health, deepening a relationship, creating your body of work. These things are rarely urgent today, but they become painfully important over time. So the question is, are you spending your best hours on what matters or only on what shouts? A good day-to-day system helps important work get attention before urgent work takes over. Part 4. Sharpen your creative mind. The fourth theme is creativity. The book argues that creativity is not only about producing useful work. Sometimes you need to create without immediate purpose. Todd Henry calls this unnecessary creation. This means making something just because it interests you. No client, no algorithm, no sales target, no pressure to monetize every spark of curiosity. In a world obsessed with productivity, this feels rebellious. But it matters. Unnecessary creation gives you room to explore. It lets you develop skills without performance pressure. It helps you reconnect with your voice, and it reminds you that you are more than your output. Not every drawing needs to become a product. Not every idea needs a business model. Not every hobby needs a funnel. Not every thought needs to be turned into content by 5 p.m. Sometimes creativity needs play, and play is not wasted time. It is how the mind discovers new paths. What to do when you feel blocked. Creative blocks are not proof that you are broken. They are part of creative life. The book offers several ways to work through them. First, step away from the task. Go for a walk. Exercise. Rest. Meditate. Change your environment. Give your brain space to make new connections. Sometimes insight arrives when you stop chasing it. Second, use constraints. This may sound strange, but limits can unlock creativity. A completely open field can overwhelm the mind, but a clear boundary gives your brain something to push against. For example, write a video script in 30 minutes. Explain an idea in only 5 bullet points. Make a design using only 2 colors. Record a rough version without editing. Create a thumbnail with only 1 big emotion. Constraints reduce overthinking. They turn creativity into a game. Very useful. Very capybara approved. Perfectionism and pragmatism both have a place. Elizabeth Grace Saunders makes a balanced point about perfectionism. Perfectionism is not always bad. Pragmatism is not always good. Sometimes you need high standards, sometimes you need to ship. The trick is knowing which mode belongs to which stage. In the early stage, be pragmatic. Explore, draft, experiment, make a mess. In the later stage, invite the perfectionist in, refine, improve, polish, raise the standard. Many creators get stuck because they bring perfectionism into the beginning of the process. They try to make the first draft perfect, which usually means they make no draft at all. A better rule: create like a playful beginner. Edit like a careful professional. This keeps you moving without sacrificing quality. The practical system: how to manage your day-to-day. Here is the book's wisdom turned into a simple daily system. 1. Choose your most important creative work. Before the day begins, identify the one task that would make the day meaningful. Not 10 tasks. 1. Ask, what work, if completed today, would make me feel proud? Start there. 2. Do creative work before reactive work. Protect the first strong part of your day. Even 60 to 90 minutes can change everything. Do not begin with your inbox unless your life genuinely depends on it. Most of the time, it does not. 3. Schedule focus blocks. Put deep work on your calendar. Treat it like a meeting. Protect it like an asset. Show up even when you do not feel magical, especially then. 4. Remove obvious distractions. Do not rely only on willpower. Put your phone away. Block distracting sites. Close unnecessary tabs. Create an environment where focus is easier. The strongest discipline is often smart design. 5. Use tools with clear intentions. Before opening email or social media, know why you are there. Enter, do the thing, leave. No wandering. 6. Build renewal into the day. Take breaks. Move your body. Breathe properly. Sleep enough. You are not a laptop with anxiety. You are a human being. 7. Create for play, not just performance. Make space for unnecessary creation. It keeps your creative mind alive and reminds you that not everything valuable has to be immediately useful. Final lessons. Manage Your Day-to-Day is not a book about doing more. It is a book about protecting the work that matters from the noise that does not. The modern world rewards reaction, but meaningful work requires intention. If you want to build something valuable, a book, A business, a channel, a skill, a healthier life, a more creative identity? You cannot leave your days unprotected, because your days become your weeks. Your weeks become your years, and your years become your life. So start small. Protect 1 hour. Create before you react. Turn off one distraction. Take one real break. Write one rough paragraph. Make one imperfect thing. Repeat tomorrow. You do not need a perfect routine. You need a routine that helps you return to what matters. And remember, even the calmest capybara does not drift accidentally into greatness. It chooses a warm rock, sits there consistently, and somehow becomes iconic. So manage your day, not because productivity is the point of life, but because your attention is precious, your creative energy is limited, and the work you are here to do deserves more than the leftover crumbs of a distracted mind. If this summary helped you rethink your routine, subscribe to the Lazy Capybaras for more calm, practical, and slightly unbothered book summaries about creativity, productivity, focus, self-improvement, and building a better life, one intentional day at a time.